Hello, so the movie we will be covering today is The Silence of the Lambs by Jonathan Demme. And this was a little bit different movie than we watched previously in classes. It was horror and crime, so it was very interesting. I thought it was important to include this because this is obviously the very first scene and right when we're introduced to Clarice and it, to me right away I was like, okay, this is a tough individual. That's who our character is. That's who we have on our hands. And obviously then the whole problem gets presented to herself in Crawford's office about her going to speak to Dr. Lecter. So I thought it was cool to see what type of character we were dealing with here in the very first scene.
Never was a deal with Senator Martin, but there is now. I designed it. Of course, I worked in a few conditions for my own benefit as well. Identify Buffalo Bill by name. And if the girl is found in time, Senator Martin will have you transferred to Brushy Mountain State Prison in Tennessee. Answer me, Hannibal. You answer me now, or by God, you'll never leave this. Who is Buffalo Bill?
So right when Chilton, he is careless. You could tell right away when we're introduced to him, he could be careless at times. He leaves the pen on the bed. I'm like, okay, this isn't gonna end well. How he got the pen in his hand, I mean, and what he does after, obviously we know with the cops, he frees himself with the handcuffs and ends up, killing both of them. Um, so yeah, right away when you see his face and the music intensify, there's something going on with that pen. So I thought it was important to include.
Never was a
What became of the old lamp, Laurie? You still wake up sometimes, don't you? Wake up in the dark, hear the screaming of the lamb. Do you think if you saved poor Catherine, you could make them stop, don't you? You think if Catherine lives, you won't wake up in the dark ever again with that awful screaming of the lamb.
So obviously here we find out why Clarice ran away from home and why the name of the film is The Silence of the Lambs. Midway through I was like, why is this the title? But then we see, and this is honestly you could have put any scene with Dr. Lecter and Clarice speaking, and it could have been used because, but especially this one, the camera pointing so close at him, getting closer and closer as they're speaking. Um, this was very important, but the character himself who plays Lecter, I mean, he did a great job at portraying Dr. Lecter, who he is supposed to be.
Now, vital signs are good. Pressure's 130 over 90. Yeah, that's right, 90. Pulse 84. Got him on lactated range running and.
So here I just want to include. I mean, you just see the ability, the serial kill ability. I thought that was his body in the elevator as we see, but we see how tactical these serial killers are. Like Dr. Lecter. So this is important.
Now,
Sure, you can use my phone.
Here we see Clarice finally meet the Buffalo Bill. She doesn't even realize she's in the house until she gets these weird sort of vibes and this maniacal vibe, yeah, from him. And it ends up being a crazy scene, where she goes down and the goggles. I could include anything from that, but this is right when they meet, and I thought it was important. Um, Overall, crazy film, crazy turns, and it'll be cool to talk about it in class.